everyone, my name is Desiree with theastrologyaddiction.com and thank you so much for watching. Now today's video is going to be explaining what a stellium is in astrology. Now this is a topic that has been debated and definitely a discussion of interest for people who have more than one planet in the same sign. So I thought that I would just do a quick comprehensive video for what this actually means and what it can mean in your chart. I do practice traditional astrology and my goal is to help you find purpose and understanding through the cosmos. If you are interested in booking a reading with me, my link is in the description box. Now, a stellium. A stellium consists of 3 or more personal planets in one sign. Now, the personal planets are the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and I do sometimes consider Jupiter as well, as it does have a heavy influence on someone's life that would have this. We currently have a stellium in the sky right now in Aquarius, and that's really what made me interested in discussing this topic with you guys. We have the Sun, we have Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn in Aquarius. So typically we don't consider the outer planets a part of a stellium, and the outer planets are Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, any asteroids, Chiron, any angles, the ascendant, midheaven, descendant, IC. So to really consider a stellium in your chart, you want to see, again, that Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, or Mars. And you also want to see these planets within about 10 degrees of each other, because that will bring in much more of an intense energy. But all being in the same sign, I still do consider them in their co-present with each other. So personally, I consider a larger degree based conjunction when I am looking at a stellium. Now, you also really want to consider the house that the stellium is happening in your chart, and I do use the whole sign house method. So if you have all of these planets in Aquarius, they would all be in, say, the 5th house. Now, for you, that would make those topics of the 5th house much more important. And when you're having transits through that 5th house or aspects to any of those planets, there can be more intense occurrences in your life in that area of life, especially 5th house being romance, children, sex, creativity. So you really have to kind of blend that meaning of the astrological sign with the meaning of the places of that house. Now, it doesn't mean that the other houses are just going to be completely empty in your chart. They are ruled by different planets. So if you have, say, Aquarius in that 5th house, you would have Pisces in the 6th house ruled by Jupiter. You would have Aries in the 7th house ruled by your Mars. So there is a lot of complexity still happening within your chart, but definitely people who have stelliums, will feel a draw towards that energy of that sign in a more intense way than maybe someone who just has, say, their sun in Aquarius. So here's an example of a stellium, and I am using the rapper Drake. He has his sun at 0 degrees Scorpio, conjunct Pluto at 7, and his Venus is at 18 Scorpio, Mercury is at 24 Scorpio. So his personal planets there is the Sun, Venus, and Mercury, and I would consider that a stellium because they are in a sign-based conjunction or co-present with each other. Bringing Pluto into it, an outer planet, does bring in more meaning and more intensity to that specific area of life. For him, it's the 4th house of home and family, lineage, karmic things, mother and father, where your parents, and the IC is there as well, which is that angle of our lineage and our home life. So you do want to keep in mind the ruler of your stellium. If it is in Scorpio, say, then Mars would be the ruler of the stellium. And his Mars, for example, is in Aquarius in the 7th house of relationships, partnership, marriage partnerships, and open enemies. So that really brings in more meaning for that Mars placement for him because it's ruling his stellium. Now, another chart that has a very prominent stellium is Joe Biden. He has his Mars, Mercury, Sun, and Venus all in Scorpio. And they are within about 15 degrees of each other, so it is a stronger degree-based conjunction. His Mars is at 12, Mercury 21, Sun at 27, and his Venus is at 28 Scorpio, all in his 12th house. And so that puts even more emphasis onto that 12th house. His ruling planet Mars of the stellium is in the 12th house with those other personal planets. So he will have possibly more hidden enemies, more unconscious things going on in his life, and possible, struggles even with his identity. These things are very complex in the chart when you have a stellium, and it's always good to get a reading from a professional astrologer to better interpret the meaning and maybe get some predictions about how you can work with that energy and maybe what the future has in store for you. So basically, the gist of it is that having a stellium in one house and one sign with the whole sign house system brings in an intensity and a focus into that area of life for the specific person that you're looking at. So I hope this made some sense for you. And again, if you have questions, leave them below, or any feedback for me. If you are interested in booking a reading with me, my link is in the description box. Have a great day. Bye.